Welcome, fellow galactic citizens, to a show that takes you across the vast expanse of our universe. I'm your host, Senator Tikkes, and this is the Galactic Gazette. Whether you're a Jedi Knight, a common civilian, or even one of our own clone troopers, this is your one-stop destination for the latest news, stories, and happenings from the farthest reaches of our galaxy. I'm coming at you live from the bustling metropolis of Coruscant, giving you the need-to-know info from here to the desolate sands of Tatooine. From epic battles of the Clone Wars to the ongoing debates of our very own Senate, we're here to bring you the most comprehensive coverage of it all. Joining us today to discuss more in-depth details of Senator Padme Amidala's recent arrest during an ongoing debate, we have our very own highly respected Hand of the Chancellor, Commander Fox of the Shock Troopers. So, Commander Fox, some of the questions I've seen floating around the holonet have piqued my interest, and I would love to hear your insight. So tell me, do you think the Senate's internal fighting is delaying the main response to the Clone Wars?
I believe it may be delaying the war because obviously the Senate, most of them are supposed to be kind of working in cahoots and not in kind of together when they're decision making. But, all this internal fighting is kind of delaying some of the bills or some of the responses to the current ongoing events during the war. I don't think it's very good for the war, and therefore I think it is kind of ruining our chances a tiny bit.
An interesting opinion. One, I can fully understand the frustrations. One inside the Gone Convocation Chamber, trying to ensure the citizens I'm sworn to protect have their voices, and the clones defending them have their tools to ensure victory. One thing that I'm debating as well as main people I've seen, do you think the Senate's focus is on the war or the people they swore to serve?
Well, I would hope it's on the war. Currently, I have a feeling, even though I answered, our chances are lessening with the internal fighting in the war. Our chances are still good, and I think the Senate is keeping those chances really good. So, I'm hoping they're focusing on the war, and I believe they are.
It's great to hear that the Senate still has the support of the clones. Without the clones, we wouldn't even be standing here, and our republic would be in shambles. You mentioned that the Senate always try to focus on the war. But one thing I've noticed is some senators instead do focus on the war. Those who do focus on the war can start coups instead. It's happened to myself many times where the senators have taken the fight with the clones to each other. What do you think should happen to the senators who start these kind of coups?
Personally, I don't really like the idea of coup d'etats. They're not really, they're not really helpful to the government, and it's just solidifying my belief that the internal fighting within the Senate is screwing up our chances even more. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be going through an official procedure if they do want to get rid of someone, which, most likely won't even happen. But if they do want to start a coup, they shouldn't do that, and they should do official procedures. As for what should happen to the people that are doing coups, they honestly... I have a feeling they shouldn't really be in a position of power if they're forcefully doing violent coups against people in our government.
Another amazing statement that I completely agree upon. Now, a final question regarding some of those senators. One of those senators is known as Mina Tills, the fellow representative of Mon Calamari. What are your thoughts on her as a senator?
Well, personally, I think she's doing the wrong things. She, started the coup during that one debate that was not very cool. I don't think she has the right mindset to be a senator.
Well, thank you again, Commander Fox. Your presence on this show has truly enriched our discussion and brought a unique perspective to the ongoing drama on Coruscant. We are grateful for your time, enthusiasm, and the insight you've shared with my audience. But now I'm going to be moving on to something more serious, some accusations involving myself. The images I'm about to show you may be shocking and disturbing to some audiences. These images are propaganda, produced by Senator Mina Tills, the Vice Chairman and Supreme Chancellor Palpatine in an attempt to ruin my image and spread lies and false claims against myself. They claim that I shot Mina Tills, and while I would love to admit to doing such an act, unfortunately this is a heinous claim and once again another plot by the Senate, another attempt to take out the person seeking the truth, bringing the facts and ensuring there is justice amongst our fair and glorious republic. Moving on to the next segment, I have a group of clones from the Attack Regiment here again to answer some questions you've been asking on the holonet. So, it's a well-known fact that the clone troopers are the fighting force of the Republic alongside their respective Jedi generals. However, the Jedi are known to be peacekeepers. Do you think their ethics or Jedi code has affected your ability on the battlefield?
Well, obviously, it's a little well known that, again, they're peacekeepers. Kind of hard to to do the tactics that we were born and raised to do whenever they want to go around the enemy. They either want to go straight into the enemy and use their force powers and we don't have them, or they want to go around and do nothing about it.
I believe some Jedi have, yes, but in the cases of Mace Windu and Anakin, I believe that they have actually caused victories that would have been unable to be won by just clone commanders.
Some very interesting opinions there, although the next question I do have to ask, do you think the war across the galaxy has pulled the Republic's focus away from its core foundations and instead is piling all of its effort and resources into the war effort?
I think it's gotten more political than anything. It's gotten to where, hell, even Padme Amidala was arrested for bad-talking that chancellor, and to the point to where they have more infighting than outfighting, and it's tearing us apart internally other than focusing on our munitions.
They're spending more time on fighting with each other than fighting the CIS.
Do you think that the Senate's own infighting and ongoing debates have delayed the end of this war?
Yes, it's cancer.
Yes.
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
That's quite interesting. The Senate does try to engage in peace talks on these kind of outer-rim bases for the CIS. Do you think that having senators on this kind of military establishment is a good idea?
I believe it's a military base. It should be kept strictly for military use. Civil matters need to be brought elsewhere. There's no place here. There's no place here for dealing with civil matters.
This isn't actually a hotel or city hall. This is a military base. You don't exactly have peace talks and that type of scenario here.
We aren't paid to protect the senators. We're paid to defend this planet.
Now, there was a suggestion brought up in the most recent debate by one of your high command members I would like your opinion on. Said member will not be mentioned, but he said that some of the funding that the Senate puts into their security should be funneled into a neutral zone so that the clones and the military bases won't be attacked. Instead, there can be a diplomatic neutral zone for the CIS and Galactic Republic in an attempt to peace talk. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think it's a bad idea and we should keep the funding within the base?
I believe the funding should be rerouted to the no zone.
I agree.
Yeah, I concur.
I agree.
I believe most of these attacks stem from from word of mouth of senators being in the base in the first place.
I've already asked this question to Commander Fox, but I would like some other opinions on the matter. Some senators who may start coups against one another say meaner tills. Would you condone this behaviour, or generally what's your opinion on those kind of senators?
Specifically, since I'm part of the medical, I respect Mina Tills. I believe they should be more involved, but that's pretty much it.
The only thing I have to say is if you're gonna fight, don't bring it into a military base by dragging in all the clones who are trying to do their job.
I don't get paid enough to worry about the senators.
Some of us are commanded to go into those meetings when we could be doing trainings.
We're bred for fighting, not politics.
Agreed.
We're just here to do our job.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show and giving your feedback into these matters and answering some questions of the public. We'll be going to Camino, where our atmospheric specialist Toulon has the weather. Toulon, how's it looking?
It's raining sideways.
You have an umbrella?
Had one.
Where is it?
Inside out 2 miles away.
Anything we can do for you?
Bring me some soup.
What kind?
Chunky.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the first Galactic Gazette episode. Remember to keep an eye on those weather updates, and if you have any questions, remember to tweet them out to the HoloNet, and I will ensure that I can get as many guests to answer all your questions. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.